Welcome to Finish the Race, a conservative Christian podcast where we'll dive deep into the current events and social issues affecting Americans.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
In times like these, truth, principles, and solutions matter. Through God's Word, we can restore our true American values, faith, family, and country.
However, I consider my life worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the good news of God's grace.
Now, here's your host, Eric-Thompson.
Hi, welcome to another Finish the Race podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Eric-Thompson. I am the author of the political articles over on the website. Also doing the podcast here is we're going to be expanding, especially as we get closer to the 2022 midterms. This is a podcast where we look at the world through Christian eyes. This is from a Christian worldview. Politics, obviously, in the United States, we're not a theocracy, so most of the topics that I'm writing about are no different than anybody else. I'm just trying to look at helping us stay up to speed on what's going on and not losing our perspective that it's helpless. Now, our government is pagan. Our culture is pagan. And you may be listening and you're not a Christian and you're like, well, I really don't care about it either, and I don't believe, and that's fine. But there are ramifications if you believe there is a God. There's a ramifications for people of a nation when they choose to pursue strange flesh. When they decide that they're going to be God instead of God, or they're going to elevate carnal, selfish, narcissistic people into politics to be the enforcers for them. That's really what our federal government has morphed into, almost like a big brother situation. Oh, I don't want people to be able to say mean things to people. Government, I want hate speech laws. I don't think that there should be people that have $1 billion when I only have 1,000. Government, I want extra rich taxes on rich people. Government, I don't think it's very nice that people that want to identify as something besides their what they're born as. I don't think it's nice that people don't want to go along with them. So then I want to enforce employers and people to have to go along with people's gender preferences or their identity. Or if a boy wants to shower with girls, I want you to force that, government. Australia, a couple of their southern provinces, they voted, along with other smaller progressive nations around the world, that climate change is real. And that there is a state of emergency in some of these nations where the government can do whatever they want to try to turn away this existential threat that's going to kill everybody on the planet. See, because of this mindset, which is coming out of the Great Reset, which is coming out of the United Nations 2030 Sustainability Goals, which is coming out of the New World Order, people need to be in submission. And what that means is the super rich people don't want the average person to be able to protect themselves. So there's a global hatred of guns. They don't want people to be able to repel their governments as they get stronger. Progressives anti-godly people. They don't want anything traditional because it makes them feel bad. So they want to destroy the nuclear family globally. They want anyone who wants to be married to get married, but you don't need to be married, and you can be pansexual, you can be non-sexual, you can be binary, non-binary. You can be whatever you want, just don't be someone that has beliefs. That's non-tolerable. And that's what I'm seeing as I write these articles. Our government, which a new poll just came out here. Most Americans believe now, not Republicans only, most Americans believe that Biden is intentionally sabotaging the economy. They think the feds are allowing gas prices to crush the fossil fuel industry. Gasoline's up 48% under Obama, electricity 12%, firewood 28%. Stocks are tanking. Consumer sentiment, worst ever. I've been writing, you'll see some of these articles on finishtherace.com. But what we're going to be doing on the website, and I'll be writing more articles, so do me a favor, go over there and check them out, finishtherace.com, and download more podcasts. I'm going to be interviewing people, but what the left is doing, what Joe Biden's doing, the Americans now are onto him. And so what the left is doing is the Democrats are trying to somehow shift all of this bad news back onto President Trump. They don't want you talking about inflation, gas prices, food prices, health insurance. They don't want you to talk about it. But see, the people are onto the Congress too. Only 19 million people watched the January 6th hoax propaganda piece last night. That's half of the people that watched Joe Biden, his miserable performance during the State of the Union. So what does this all mean? This means that I believe that the Democrats are planning on, at some point in the fall, trying to see if they can get Joe Biden the ability to declare a state of emergency over climate change, which would give him extra constitutional authorities. Which means that, of course, everybody can vote via the mail. Emergency. Climate change. We can't have people flying and driving to polling places. I mean, we can't have them driving to polling places. So we're going to have everybody voting. And you're not going to use IDs because that's racist. Where we're at is we basically have to say, look, we know federal government, you're corrupt. We know you're trying to get rid of cars, gas-powered cars, and that's why Biden, you're not even trying to get the fuel costs back down. We know that you want to keep this pressure on so long that people are either going to just take Ubers and Lyfts, or they're going to buy an electric car. Europe just the European Union just signed a law with their members that 2035 will be the last year that they'll allow a gas-powered vehicle to be produced and sold in Europe. 2035. So that's where we're at. Some of the articles on the website. Nancy's, not Trump's fault. Capitol Police reveals security failures that actually took place on Pelosi's watch. Good article, good content on there if you want to realize Capitol Police are admitting that it was Nancy that caused the problems. Man with gun arrested near Kavanaugh home, wanted to kill him. And one of the popular articles, Bannon flipped the script, subpoenas Pelosi and the January 6th committee. So his attorney said, fine, you're going to want to try to take me to court. I'm going to subpoena you now. Governor DeSantis of Florida says enough's enough. He's going to start sending illegal aliens to Delaware and other sanctuary states. They're coming in. He's going to reroute them right. Oh, you're coming in from Texas? You just keep on rolling up to New York. Even Chris Wallace confirmed the January 6 hearings was a nothing burger. He said, yeah, I was kind of, was well put on well because it was a professional production, but it didn't say anything new and didn't change anything. The Biden inflation is at 8.6%, the highest level came out today, the highest level since 1981. Our inflation is, the last time it was this high was Ronald Reagan's first full year in office, as he was trying to fix the second worst president behind Joe Biden's economy, Jimmy Carter. Even Bernie says, you know what, Democratic enthusiasm's just shot. Red wave's coming. Biden's going after Title IX, which is basically going to destroy women's rights in the universities. So those are some of the stories on there. The FBI raided at the Michigan GOP gubernatorial candidate. Has a chance of beating Whitmer. Oh, he was January 6th standing by the building. So let's go put him in jail so he can't run. Yeah, Soros got a map here of all the district attorneys he's funding around the country. So those are just some of the articles you'll find over at finishtherace.com. But the fact is, as we're sitting here on June 10th, the Biden administration's not going to stop the decline. The CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, he said it no problem. Oh, this is not transitory. The inflation's here to stay. That's what he wants. It's what the Great Reset wants. Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary. Yeah, I kind of misgauged the inflation equation. It's here to stay. Oh, Yellen and all them. Yeah, well, we've done all we can. We can't do anything about the gas. Well, wait a minute. What about opening up the leases, reopening the wells that were already producing and the leases expired? How about reopening those? New leases, Alaska, opening all the spigots. See, they say they're lying. They're lying through their teeth. Because they're lying or incompetent or both. I had an article here about, it did pretty well, a billionaire who's an oil refiner. He said Biden just opened up the spigots. The barrel of oil right now is like $120, $115 a barrel. Under Trump, it got, I think, as low as $40. He said, you know what? You open the spigots, it drops back down to $65, $55. Gasoline goes back to where it was. So it's all Joe. And the new poll says it's a Convention of States Action Trafalgar Group. Survey asked, do you believe the Biden administration is intentionally letting gas prices rise to make Americans use less fossil fuels? 53% said yes. But 39% said they don't believe that's true. But over half do. What kind of situation did we the people let ourselves get into here by those that voted for Joe Biden? Regardless of the election fraud and all that, the fact is he's still sitting 4 days a week since he's a part-time president. He's still signing things and he's not doing anything to help us out. As a matter of fact, his Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas has the border wide open. And I'm going to finish with this. Why has the United States of America sent over $40 billion to the Ukrainians? What do we, the United States of America, have to do with one of the most corrupt governments in the world? Nothing, except I believe Joe Biden is compromised to China, Ukraine, and Russia. He's been lifting sanctions off China. He just lifted sanctions off solar panels so they can get them in. And Hunter did some business dealings with Ukraine. We know about that because the prosecutor was going after Hunter when Joe got him fired. So we sent billions, 40, 50, I don't know where it's going to settle, but let's say $40 billion we gave to the Ukrainians while our country is struggling big time. Well, now the Biden administration unveiled a plan late yesterday, and guess what they're going to do? They are going to invest. They're going to guarantee $331 million in food security and humanitarian aid for Latin American nations. Why? Total package, $645 million, which includes money for helping the illegal aliens and migrant populations as they come up from 150 different nations, enter into Mexico and other South American nations, work their way up to our border and walk in. So the Biden administration is going to guarantee Latin American nations aid to, provides life-saving humanitarian assistance and responding to acute food insecurity and advancing capacity-building activities and help bolster their preparedness across Latin America and the Caribbean. And the $645 million includes support for refugee and migrant populations as well as climate-smart economic reform. So we will help you if you go towards zero emissions. The United States has a fertilizer shortage because of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City says that fertilizer expenses are up 90% because of supply and demand issues, which makes everything more expensive. So while American citizens are trying to deal with what Biden's doing to our country, we are going to be pumping out another $645 million, which, by the way, where does that money come from? Our taxes. But how does it come out of our taxes? Well, we go to the Fed and we print the money. And now we have to take our tax money and pay back the Fed for the loan. At some point, this programmable digital currency that they're working on will replace the dollar, and then America will basically have to negotiate and go bankrupt on ourselves, the Federal Reserve, which is actually an illegal group of the wealthiest bankers in the world that actually control our currency. United States of America doesn't control its own money. Under Nixon, we actually went off the dollar. We went off the gold reserve. So our dollar, as of 71, no longer had gold backing it. So do me a favor. Check out the website on a regular basis. We're doing four to six articles a day. It'll be increasing. FinishTheRace.com. Please tell your friends and family to focus in on what's happening. The Great Reset. Check that out online. The Great Reset. It's out of the World Economic Forum, out of Switzerland. United Nations 2030 Sustainability Goals, 2030. They're both based off of 2030. Keep an eye on climate change. We really need to get more informed on why it's fake, why it's fake news, and why it's part of this agenda, which is what I believe COVID was all about. Misinformation, disinformation. Because we know, according to the leaks and according to what Dr. Rand Paul was able to discover, that Dr. Anthony Fauci, for years, used NIH to fund research to improve the gain of function of viruses between a bat and other animals to be able to go into humans. So Dr. Fauci paid for the gain of function of viruses. And then even under Obama, they said, we're not going to do that anymore. That's spooky. And then when the Trump administration got in, they weren't quite up to speed on what Dirty Fauci was doing, and he got it refunded. And then all of a sudden, the Great Reset, Bill Gates and them do a simulation on what a pandemic would look like in September of 19. And then in December and January, COVID starts hitting the world. And then Fauci opened up the Great Reset Conference this year. The United States of America needs to separate from globalism quickly. We have to cancel our immigration options, no asylum, no amnesty, no chain migration. We need to do military exercises on our southern border. And in part of those military exercises over a 90-day time period, the Seabees, the Army, would build walls because we have an emergency. Shut down the border, no asylum, no one's coming. No chain migration, family members are not coming. And then you just start deporting away. And you tell the Paris Accord, we're out. We tell the Great Reset, we're out. United Nations 2030 Sustainability Goals, well, just like China's not playing ball, India's not playing ball, Russia's not playing ball, we're not playing ball. We're out. What I'm saying is probably impossible because there's everyone so entwined into the New World Order. But that's the only way the United States of America survives. See, if the Department of Education's closed and everything goes back local, then we tell these LGBTQ trans people, not in our city. Just like we're going to do when Roe v. Wade's overturned. No abortions in our state. No men wearing dresses are going to have access to small children and dance around with them in our state, in our city, in our county. That's how more than half the country's on to what's going on. So we'll use our majority to deconstruct the federal government down to a small entity that's only responsible for taking in a little bit of taxes to make sure they can control and have an army and they can control trade between the states. Besides that, everything in the 10th Amendment, it goes to the states, and we can get back to living under liberty locally. That is how you return the nation to the United States of America. And it has to happen fast. Like I said in my article on finishtherace.com, Title IX was written to make sure that the girls couldn't be discriminated against when it came to scholarships and sporting funding, sports funding. And now Biden's going in and just totally gutting it, destroying the rights of women, and just basically blurring the genders to the point that it'll just destroy women's sports. That shouldn't happen. That's only be allowed to happen because we have mentally ill people running our government. They are. If you have gender dysphoria, then you reject your physical body. That's why they have a high suicide rate, depression rate, and lack of productivity. See, we don't need to care about who people sleep with. We need to basically say, do what you want to do in your bedroom, but leave the children alone. Leave the sports alone. Leave the infrastructure of the culture alone. And go do what you do and leave us alone. The globalists, the Black Lives Matter group, Antifa and all them, no, they want to erase history. They want to burn down buildings, destroy statues, destroy paintings. They want to get rid of a mom-dad-child relationship, and they want to promote transgenderism and people of color, and that was directly out of the Black Lives Matter About Us page before they took it down. That's their purpose. Advance queer, transgender, black, and people of color in America and getting rid of a mom, dad, child as a preferred nuclear family. So I'm going to be writing more about this so we can keep an eye on. We need to be attacking climate change, attacking it. It is one of the vehicles they're going to try to use eventually to declare a state of emergency. We need to gut it before it even gets that far. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for listening to this. Please share this with your friends and family. And let me know if you want some guests, specific guests or topics you want me to cover. Just email me at eric@finishtherace.com, eric@finishtherace.com. About a year and a half ago, my wife and I got really tired of paying high cell phone bills. And if you're with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, or Sprint right now, you're paying, on average, $900 a year too much for your cell phone service. Do you want to stop paying $900 too much? Very simple. Go over to my website, getpure, P-U-R-E, talk.com, getpuretalk.com. That's what my wife and I did. And what's going to happen is you're going to sign up on Pure Talk USA. You choose the plans that are right for you, just like you have now. But here's the nice thing. You don't have to buy any equipment. You don't have to get new phone numbers. You get to stay on the same 5G network you're on right now. Same tower, same everything, no contract. When you go to getpuretalk.com, you're going to choose the plans you want. If you don't want new phones, which they'll have huge discounts on, you just go to the SIM cards and order them. They're free. They'll ship them to you. Put them in your phones. You turn on your phones. Everything's the same except your bill's going to go down about 50%. And when you use the promo code FLS at checkout, 3 letters, FLS for liberty's sake, getpuretalk.com, promo code FLS at checkout, 50% off your first month on a bill that's going to be about 50% of what you've been paying. They do not charge you if you go over on your data, so your bill will be the same every month. Customer service is located in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and the CEO is a U.S. veteran. So check them out, getpuretalk.com, promo code FLS. If you have a 401k, if you have over $50,000 in retirement, you cannot afford to lose the money. Stock market's tanking again. Everything, the dollar, everything, inflation, everything's not good long term for retirements and 401ks. Get a free 2022 Wealth Protection Kit from Goldco. Thousands of people are doing it because it's a free 32-page kit that explains to you the risks that are underway right now and some ways that you can protect your retirement. Sean Hannity has vetted them. He's promoting on his show every day. Goldco has placed nearly $1 billion using a legal IRS loophole to take the money out of your retirement dollars and stocks and transfer some of it or all of it into gold or silver to protect your 401k, pension, or retirement savings from inflation. So all you do is you go to getgoldco.com, getgoldco.com, order your free 2022 Wealth Protection Kit. Know how to hedge yourself against inflation and know how to protect your wealth. GetGoldco.com. Order your free 2022 Wealth Protection Kit. And first name, last name, email, phone number, bam. They ship it to you. No cost at all. No obligation. And the only thing you have to lose is wisdom by not getting it because it won't cost you a dime. If you do decide you want to protect some of your retirement, they will walk you through it. So use your mind like you've used your body and your efforts to make your retirement. Make sure that you protect your retirement. GetGoldco.com. And lastly, MyPillow had some huge sales going on right now. Go over to MyPillow. I have a special link, .vip. MyPillow.vip. Save up to 66% or more using the same promo code you're going to use over at Pure Talk FLS. MyPillow.vip, promo code FLS, or you can just call them at 1-800-864-0148. If you know, I just want my awesome pillows, I need a couple great pillows and some towels, and call them 1-800-864-0148. I love all their products. I have them all over my house. 1-800-864-0148, promo code is FLS. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Finish the Race. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
My friends and I love it.
It's drastically changed my life.
For more information and updates, please visit finishtherace.com. To get in touch with others in our community, please visit megabook.com. We thank you once again for tuning in. Have a blessed day.